I don't know if it's going to be picked up on camera, but there's a woodpecker. Awesome. Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be doing a quick channel update, as well as answering some of the comments from the "Are you an asshole" video, as well as the "Whether or not your credit score can hinder your love life" video. If you guys want to skip the channel update and go straight to the comment responses, I'm going to put a pinned comment down in the comment section below. That is a lot of comments, this is a brief amount of time, but I'm going to put a timestamp in said comment where you guys can skip over the update and just go straight to the responses. So the first thing on the agenda for the channel update is just a sincere and heartfelt thank you. Less than 2 weeks ago, this channel had 202 subscribers, and there's a strong possibility that by the end of today, I will have literally 10 times that number, which is just boggling my mind right now. The vast preponderance of you guys came over from the Rick and Morty video because, I mean, let's face it, one of these things is not like the other, but I'm super thankful of the 202 of you who were here previously. I'm thankful for those who came in through other videos, or those who watched the Rick and Morty, said, like, maybe I like this guy, then watched another video and decided then to join. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this. I am stunned at a loss for words, which you guys can probably imagine doesn't happen to me very often. I'm just really grateful and jazzed that you guys all decided, you know, that it would be worth your time to kind of all come together right here in this channel for us to all explore and learn about the social sciences. That is just, to me, is just wow. In my mind, you're never done learning, and I hope this is a space where everyone can kind of learn from each other and embrace that philosophy. But moving on from the mushy stuff, there's also a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about as well. One of the things that I wanted to do once I hit 1,000 subscribers is to stop making videos just once a week, but instead move to a kind of twice a week format. Right now, the ideal, and I emphasize ideal because it hardly ever happens in reality, is you have like a traditional Professor Politics video, then you'll have a comment response video, and then you'll have a current events vlog, and then you'll have a comment response video to that. The idea that I had for when I hit 1,000 subscribers would be a substantive video, like a Professor Politics video, and then a comment response to the Professor Politics video, and then a current event that week. So instead of having a month-long delay between substantive videos or current event vlogs, you would actually have them alternating every other week. I still want to do this, but the thing is, I never really expected this sort of explosive growth to the channel. I kind of figured that I would hit 1,000 subscribers after this kind of long, gradual gain, instead of just kind of explosive, quick, I don't know. And the reason that matters is because I always kind of expected to have the time to be able to shuffle my priorities so that I wouldn't go insane, right? I mean, I'm planning a wedding with my fiance, I have academic research that I'm working on, I have things that kind of just make me stay sane, you know, like exercising, running, and as well as doing the research for my dissertation. You know, all these things are things that I have to try to finagle. We're going to move to a twice-a-week schedule, and I hope you guys are patient with me as I kind of shuffle everything around to make sure that we can make that work. Speaking of being patient, I also want to thank you guys who are here for being patient with the quality of the videos that I produce. I only tend to think that I make pretty okay videos, right? They're not professional quality like you'd see from the PBS stuff or from like the Vsauce or anything like that, but it's, you know, a decent enough quality that I think that the information can generally get across in a way that is enjoyable and entertaining. With that said, there are a few things that I know that are a bit subpar. I think like the 800 comments on the Rick and Morty video, like a third of them had something to do with the audio. Audio production was something I kind of hoped to pick up gradually as I got more and more sort of the same way I was going to shuffle everything as things kind of just gradually progressed. But I am going to try to accelerate my rate of learning these skills so that way you guys can have the most enjoyable experience possible. But other things are going to take a little bit of time to put into effect, like getting new equipment for, you know, audio and lighting and stuff like that. As I mentioned in the video talking about why grad students were pissed off at the GOP tax reform plan, we don't exactly make a lot of money. And when you're saving for a wedding, whatever disposable income you have basically goes down to zero. It is tax return season, and I have managed to find a way to kind of chunk off a little bit of that money to purchase a better microphone and to purchase a better tripod so that I actually have more stable video. I have to go research which microphones are going to be good for the channel, I have to wait for my return to hit, and then I actually have to go purchase the stuff and wait for it to be shipped. All in all, I expect that maybe to take like between a month and 2 months for that all to come into effect. So again, I hope you guys just are patient with me over the next 4 to 8 weeks as we, you know, try to work all this stuff out. If you guys have any other constructive feedback about maybe the way that things are produced or the way that things are presented on the channel, please leave a comment. Let me know. I do read just about every comment that is posted, and I think hard about the vast preponderance of those, especially those that give constructive feedback. Because I want these things to be as good as they can be, both as an educator and as a content creator. Alright, so now we're going to go to the comment responses, and we're going to start off with the "Are you an asshole" video. So my fiance Stephanie suggested it would be kind of funny if I had put a counter that iterated the number of times I said asshole in that video, and not to disappoint, Dorian X Sapien posted this just hysterical comment, timestamping every time the word is said. The conclusion being that if you did try to take a shot, you would probably be dead. Thought Warner 17 suggested that, maybe deep down we all are recovering assholes, because babies are relatively narcissistic, they're only looking out for themselves, they have to be taught the value of social interactions and social norms and stuff like that. There's actually some really interesting research on both sides of this. If any of you guys are interested, I would suggest reading the book Just Babies. It is a fantastic look. So it kind of turns out that while babies themselves can be fairly self-centered, selfish may not be the right word for it, but self-centered, they actually do recognize really early on moral preferences, and actually do have pro-social moral preferences long before they can even vocalize them. We definitely do have to undergo some sort of socialization and learning, but the research does suggest that, maybe we're not necessarily that horrible when we come out as babies. Maybe there is hope for humanity yet. 8-Bit 3055 suggested that maybe the examples I was giving did not necessarily constitute an asshole. Like, the person who cut you off in traffic may be in a hurry, and then maybe somebody who gets into a position of power may instead try to use their position of power to do, good by their employees, may recognize that, hey, I have to be a leader here and actually, lead in a good and respectable manner. With regards to the driver, I think this brings up a really interesting question. Does an asshole need to be aware that they have a feeling of moral superiority, or just is it sufficient that they act consistently as if they do? Because from both the book and from personal experience, there seems to be like a certain kind of awareness that's necessary for an individual to be an asshole. It's not sufficient that they merely do bad things, they also have to know that said bad things are normally inexcusable, but feel like that they are themselves excused. Like, so somebody who cuts somebody off in traffic because they're rushing to go to the hospital, or if they're late this day, they're going to, be fired from their job, that seems different than somebody who is cutting other people off because, we've all seen them, the kinds of people just driving the Mercedes-Benzes feel like they own the road, right? There seems to be a very strong qualitative difference. In regards to the leadership thing, there are definitely people who are self-aware of the responsibilities and burdens of leadership, and then will translate those to good things. Research doesn't necessarily show that everybody goes down the asshole path when provided with opportunities to power. What it shows is that there's kind of like a tendency towards that, a correlation towards that when controlling other factors. I'm not sure if any researchers actually tried to explicate the causes for why one person will go towards one route and another will kind of go towards more of the asshole-ish route. I'm not sure. I'll have to research that and maybe visit that in a different video or something. I don't know. I also want to give a shout out to Neurotransmissions, who commented on the video. If you like psychology, if you like the sort of stuff that I produce, then you should really go check out their videos. Now we're going to move on to the comment responses for the Can Your Credit Score Hinder Your Love Life video. Serafina S posed a really interesting kind of counterpoint to the general message and theme of that video by stating that, if you don't like the answers that you get, then all you have to do is change the questions you ask. And unfortunately, this is very true. A lot of disreputable organizations and firms will go out and sort of push narratives based upon poorly formed questions, or intentionally poorly formed questions. I can't tell you how many times I've seen research on things like, policy preferences, gun control, abortion, stuff like that, or, things about drug addiction, or just 1.5 million things that try to, get the respondents to say something so as to confirm their pre-existing beliefs. There's also, fortunately, a lot of really good data out there, a lot of individuals who are really just trying to get at the truth as best they can. So while we should be skeptical of findings, we shouldn't be hyper skeptical so much that we're willing to just dismiss them based upon the organization. We should actually, go in and actually look at how things were conducted, what sort of wording they were doing, etc., etc. Or because, frankly, not everyone has the kind of time to just trawl into the data like that, like we have everyday lives and everyday responsibilities that we're supposed to be doing. Follow people whom you trust to be able to do that sort of thing on your behalf. Orion X Sapien had an excellent response to a comment made by Jace the Deck Builder, in which they described the fact that, survey research is often just kind of the most expedient tool that we have, as opposed to the one that we most prefer. This is something that we survey researchers are definitely aware of. That's why we have a number of different statistical tools to be able to try to best approximate what we would consider the gold standard of research to be, which would be, controlled experiments. A lot of creative things that we can do in surveys as well, right? I mean, we can do survey experiments to be able to see, what kind of stimuli causes what effect. Also, a lot of potential and promise in properly doing, web research, and doing that mainly because the internet lends itself to a whole bunch of different media formats, right? Like, you could do experiments based on, video, you could do it based off of images and text, and it's just really cool. Have interactive stuff in there. It's just the bounds of what is possible are constantly being pushed forward, and new creative stuff is being done every day. It's just really exciting. This is where I'm going to end the comment response video. Guys, thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, just everything. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Next week is going to be a current event vlog, and then hopefully over the next couple of weeks or so, we're going to move into that twice a week format that I mentioned earlier. If you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by commenting down below, by sharing it, and by subscribing to the channel to stay in the loop for more awesome social science content is uploaded. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.